Recently, I've been noticing that Gen Alpha, basically the younger generation after Gen Z, isn't even growing up. But let me explain first. A little bit over a month ago, I went traveling with my family and two other families. Like their parents and my parents are friends, so it's like a tradition we do every single year. But this year, because I've taken my life more seriously and developed myself more, I actually noticed something. Every child of all families was severely addicted to their phones or their iPads basically. I was the oldest one there, the only one from Gen Z, and also I always like to be present and just know my surroundings and everything around me, so I noticed that when there was free time, every child would be on their phone or on their iPad, and they all were basically on the same apps. It was pretty much always TikTok or Snapchat or some brain rot like that. But honestly, I didn't really think of it much at first. But after the trip, my brain started making connections and actually realizing that the problem is way worse than I initially thought. So I have two younger brothers and a sister, and basically after the trip, in a subtle way, I just started noticing their behaviors and just what they are doing from day to day. And after I started taking notice a little bit, that was the moment I realized that the situation is just completely fucked up. First of all, at the start of every single day, they go on their phone and scroll on TikTok or on Snapchat while eating their ultra-processed sugary cereal. Then they can't even read books, so they'll argue with my parents that they don't want to read the books that school requires them to read. They would much rather be on their phones and just consume this stimulating content all day, every day. Maybe my oldest brother, who is like 14 now, isn't doing that bad, however, he's still not doing much other than playing video games in his free time. With my sister, it's the worst. She has failed multiple tests in school and she can't even study by herself, so my parents have to help her every single time. Yeah, she's like 10, but still at 10 years old, nobody was helping me to study. I had to completely focus on homework all by myself, and also like my attention span wasn't completely fucked up, so I could actually focus. My point is that the younger generation doesn't even seem to be growing up. They can't even focus on a simple thing like a book. But why does it happen? Why isn't the younger generation growing up? Well, I don't think that TikTok and this attention span destroying apps are exactly the full picture to this issue. I think there's a way more disturbing reason to this. Remember I just talked about when I went on the trip and noticed that every single child there was addicted to TikTok? Well, I forgot to say that every child there was under 10 years old. Like, what the fuck, bro? Think about that. I think now it's pretty obvious what's the reason for this. I think the reason why everyone is addicted and has such a bad attention span is because they get introduced to this addicting technology at a very young age. It's maybe not that fair to blame parents for this, however, they still need to take responsibility. Bro, I've seen literal 3-year-olds get an iPad. Yeah, on the positive side, giving it to a 3-year-old stops him from crying all of the time, however, it still completely fucks up his brain from birth. And after they get an iPad, they get introduced to social media like TikTok, and they might see some really traumatizing content on there, like it's not even funny anymore, bro. Just imagine these kids developing adult content addictions because they were given access to social media at literally 3 years old. Or actually, I don't think women have to imagine this anymore, since this has probably happened to millions of children already. In addition to that, they just don't learn to do anything themselves because these addictions are just so comfortable that they don't even need to leave their beds anymore. Their childhoods will be spent on social media and playing video games. And because, as I said, parents don't want to deal with a 3-year-old crying all of the time, they will just probably give him junk food or just some sugary food. Maybe that stops him from crying for a little while, however, that's another addiction right here. This all coupled with, frankly, our terrible education system just makes everything much worse. I'm genuinely scared for the upcoming generation, and honestly, bro, I think it's only going to go downwards from here. Though there is a path you can take to avoid this. By that I mean life improvement and just quitting these terrible addictions. This path will be difficult, however, it's definitely worth it. I've been on this path for over 3 years now and it has definitely paid off. If you want to see videos on how to go on that path, you can check out my other videos or just subscribe to my channel. But anyways bro, I think that is it for today. If you want to see another video, you can click here. So thanks for watching, see you in the next one.